Welcome to our mobility and flexibility session. Stretching our muscles is extremely important for a dancer, and it should be done consistently every day if you can. After dancing, after exercising, it's recommended to stretch the muscles to avoid the buildup of lactic acid, but it's also really important to release the tension and stiffness from all the jumping around and to be able to go further with your flexibility. The warmer your body is, the best will be for you to achieve your goals in your flexibility. Another thing that is really important is to understand that you need to take it slow. You've got to have patience. It's about building up. You're not going to be able to do the splits or another stretch that you wish to do just like this. So it takes time and you've got to build up slowly. What is very important is to have the correct alignment. So you've got to check if, for example, you're doing a lunge, that your hips are square and they're facing the front. So throughout this session, I'm going to be talking to you about the alignment, and that's really important for you to pay attention. We're going to start the warm-up. We're going to go on our knees, arms to the side. You can roll the shoulders up, down. Breathing in and out throughout. Really open the chest, lengthen the spine. We're going to reverse. 1, 2. So mobilizing the joints. It's really important in the beginning to warm up. Bend your elbows and circle back. 1. Really opening the chest. 2 and 3 and 4. Reverse back. Feel that nice stretch happening in the front and the back. And feel your joint feeling a bit warmer. We're going to move the head, center, side, center. Lift it up and down. Half head roll, starting from one shoulder to the other, and reverse. We're going to reach one arm up and over, push the hip to the side, get that stretch on the side here, and back. So in the beginning of a session, we'll do some stretches, but they're all dynamic stretches. And then roll again and down. That's it. We're going to go into the cat stretches. So we're going to have the hands underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the pelvis. You're going to lengthen the head away from the tail. Now you want to zip up from the pelvic floor all the way up to the ribs on the exhale and carve. Exhale. So remember, we're still warming up the body, so you go nice and gentle with the movement. And again, curve, look at your belly button, roll the head and squeeze your shoulder blades. Excellent. And again, breathe out, breathe in, 2 more, exhale, and in, shoulders are down, and last one. And in. Let's move the pelvis side to side to release the tension around the hips. We're going to move forwards and move back. And you can increase that range of motion by walking your hands slightly forwards and shifting even more. And now you're going to start releasing the head down and up. Use your breath. You're going to move slightly forwards and just work a little bit more with your arms. Engage your abdominals there to protect your lower back, and forwards and back and forwards and back. Stay down, breathe in deeply, breathe out. And again. Well done. We're going to come to seated and we're going to talk about the way we're breathing. It's really important to use the back and sides of your rib cage. So it's a 3D breathing. We're going to inhale, so you can bring your hands to the ribs. Inhale to expand the ribs. Exhale. You bring the ribs closer together. You're going to turn this way so you can see. It's going to inhale, expand. Exhale, bring the fingers closer together by bringing your ribs in. And again, inhale. Feel the back and sides of your rib cage expanding, and exhale. We want to avoid breathing through the shoulders. We want to keep the breath through the back and sides of the ribs. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Excellent. Very, very good. Well done. Okay. We're going to come down to lying on your back. It's really important that we talk about alignment. So I'm just going to go through what imprint and neutral is. So imprint, it's when you're drawing the ribs down to the pelvis and your lower back is as close as possible to the floor. These muscles here are nice and tight, like if you're wearing a corset. And then we're going to reach our neutral. Neutral spine is keeping the natural curves of your spine. We all have different spine, different bodies, so we've got to check about the position of our bones. So check your pubic bone and your hip bones. Check if they are parallel to the floor. You can make a triangle with your hands and then you place them there and you check if the hip bones and your pubic bone are parallel to the floor. There is a slight gap underneath your lower back and the back of the ribs are releasing down into the floor. So we don't want to arch the spine and put tension to your lower back. You want to release it down. That's it. We're going to just hold it there and do 2 deep breaths into this position, into your neutral, so you can feel these muscles working. Inhale, exhale, and again, inhale, exhale, zipping up these muscles to feel the alignment of the pelvis. Excellent, well done. Let's roll through the pelvis. So you move from neutral into the imprint and you push your pelvis all the way up. You're going to stretch the front of the pelvis. You're going to press your hands down on the floor. If you feel tension on the shoulders, turn the palms up and then roll down. Make sure that the legs are hip distance apart and your toes are pointing. Your feet and your toes are pressing down into the ground. Up and then rolling through the spine bone by bone. Try to keep your eyes towards the knees to avoid tension on the neck. And then roll again, all the way up, press your feet into the ground, lengthen the spine, and then rolling down. This is going to be your last one, so prepare, zip up from the pelvic floor, all the way up to the ribs, look at your knees, rolling all the way up, and then rolling all the way down. Well done. To protect your spine, you relax the knees to the side, and then you push yourself up, coming from the side. We're going to go into our downward dog. So have your hands parallel and feet parallel, hip distance apart, and we're going to walk through the feet. Relax your head, just warming up the joints, pushing your tailbone all the way up to the sky, and going through the feet. That's it. And you can push all the way up here to work on your dancer's feet, and then up and down. Lovely. Now you're going to bend the front leg and look through, and then swap back leg and look through. That's a good stretch across the upper back as well. Exhale, and in, exhale. We're going to do 4 more. Exhale, center, exhale, tailbone to the sky, squeeze your shoulder blades. And last one. And now we're going to bend both knees to the chest and then push the hips all the way up and heels down. Knees to the chest and exhale. When you straighten the legs, try to look at your belly button. So here you're lengthening the spine, the head, and here you're going to look at your belly button. Last one, bend and exhale. Very well done. From there, we're going to walk the hands back and you're going to release side to side. Keep your pelvis down, releasing the tension around your lower back, upper back, and then
fingers on the floor and stretch the legs. Now we want to avoid shifting the weight to the back. You want to bring the weight towards the balls of the feet. Yeah, so you want to bend one knee and exhale. Now in this position, I would like you to really lengthen the lower back and untuck your pelvis. So we don't want to be like this, okay? We want to really hinge and push the tailbone up. So bend there and stretch and exhale. If you cannot reach, that's fine. You can just touch it here and you can just try like this, but avoid pushing the weight back. Keep the weight going forwards towards the balls of your feet. And again, exhale and up and exhale and up. Well done.
We're now going to bring the left leg forwards into a lunge. Excellent. So remember, the lunge, it's really important that the knee doesn't go forward than the heel to protect the knee joints. We're there. We're going to have our muscles activated throughout this. So we're not collapsing down. We're pulling up the kneecap. We have energy going out from the heel there. So the nice energy going out there. We're going to push the right hip forward and we're going to have the fingers on the floor. And we're going to open the chest. I want you to feel the stretch. Pull up, lengthen. Lengthen the back of the neck as well. So we're not collapsing, we're not relaxing, we're actively working with the muscles to make them more flexible, and this is very effective. So staying up, staying up, staying up, staying up, pushing this hip forward. And now we're going to put this down. Relax your toes down. We're going to push the hip further forward, tucking the tailbone. So we're not going like this, we're really tucking under, pushing this forwards. Right hip is going forwards. You're going to lift the arms up. And then you're going to place the left hand on the floor and the right arm comes up and over. This is such a deep stretch around the front, the hip flexors, psoas, and the side, the waist. Exhale there. Breathe out. Now, if this is not a possibility for you, you can have the hand here and push it out. But you can only get more flexible if you're thinking about the alignment, if you're pushing the hip forward and if you're tucking the tailbone under. And you're there. And then back. Excellent. Now you're going to have your hands down. You're going to bring the left foot across the outside of your right hand. And you're going to go into this position. You're going to tuck the toes under at the back. And you're going to release this leg down. Keep the back leg straight. Release. And then you go up again. And then release. 2. And then up. And now 3. And then up. And 4, and then up. And now we're going to lift all the way. So walk your hands back slightly, and then you will feel you stretch the front leg and the back leg, and really untuck the pelvis. Again, it's not about collapsing into the posture. It's about lengthening your back. Yeah, that's it. And think about the crown of your head going towards the toes, and not your nose going to the knee. That's it. Trying to keep that nice and straight. If you're able to bring your tummy to your thigh and lengthen the head, that's even better. Lengthening up. And then back. We're going to place that leg on the floor. So relax the leg that is behind, knee is down, fingers on the floor, and lengthen the head all the way up. Push the pelvis forwards. That's it. Up, inhale, exhale. You can stay here. Now, if you got the correct alignment with your pelvis and if you've got the flexibility, you can place your right hand on the floor and grab the right foot with your left hand and bring the heel all the way down. Now, if when you do this, your pelvis come up, just stay here. I'd rather you stay here and really push the pelvis down and get a good stretch on the front of the thigh and your quads muscles. Maybe most of dancers, they do have really tight quad muscles. So you're going to benefit more from staying here than pushing this and displacing the pelvis, okay? So I'd rather you stay there and get the stretch. Now, if you're super flexible, you can bring that heel down to the bum if you still get the stretch right here in the front of the calf muscles. Excellent. Put it down. The last lift here, reaching up and down. And then you're going to bring your right leg in front and cross. So you're breathing out and reaching forwards. Again, it's about releasing the tension of your lower back, untucking the tailbone, reaching the arms forwards and trying to get a nice straight back and not collapsing. Make sure that you have your feet up, higher up as possible. So avoid having here to your bum, because that way you release the tension of the joints. You hold it there for a couple of breaths and then you slowly walk your hands back and then you bring it forward. And then you release the tension. You shake your legs and shake your pelvis slightly. Okay, we're going to go into the lunge on the other side. So, you're going to bring the leg forward. Here. Stretch the leg at the back. And again, thinking about the alignment. Pushing up and stretching the front of this leg. Activation through the muscles, so not collapsing, pulling up. Exhale. Energy going out from that heel. Lengthen, breathe. And breathe out. Breathe, push the pelvis forwards, try to tuck the tailbone under. And release the knee down. We're going to lift the arms up. And then you're going to lean to the side. So right hand on the floor, left arm up. It's a very deep stretch down the side. Excellent. Breathe out. Again, if it's not for you this one, you can have your right arm on the thigh. Breathe out. Pushing the pelvis forwards. So don't let this hip open. You want to keep the hip to the front. So the left hip is pushing right to the front and pull up. Another thing that is important, don't lean over to the side. Yeah, so when you're doing the lunge, you stay there. Just very careful that this doesn't happen, okay? You've got to be nice and straight all the way forwards and not pushing the hips to the sides, because otherwise you're going to be overstretching your ligaments. So you've got to be careful with that. And from here, we're going to go back. There, we're going to untuck there and then lift the knee. You're pressing forwards, again lifting up. You're now going to walk the foot towards this side, hand on the floor, and then you have the sole of the foot facing forwards. You're going to release the knee towards the right hand and try to stretch that leg when you do it. And then back, and then down, and back. So you don't stretch yet the front leg because we're just getting the muscles ready. We've done 4. That's it, 4. And now you either stay here with the knee bend or you stretch. And here you really want to lengthen your lower back. You want to keep the hand inside, which is quite tricky. So lengthen and stretch the lower back. The left hip is to the front, and then lengthen. Your tummy down towards your thigh. Lengthen the head all the way forward. Breathe out. Exhale. So the whole time you're thinking about the correct alignment. You're stretching and lifting the kneecap. You're extending the back of the knee. You're feeling on the posterior calf. You're feeling the hamstring. You're also feeling on the IT band. And trying to straighten that front leg if you can, otherwise stay bent. And then we're going to go down to this pose. We're trying to keep the foot forwards to get more stretch. And we're lifting the chest up. You're pushing the left heel down, breathing out. Activation through the fingers. Soften the elbows if you've got hyperextended elbows. So don't let them lock like this, just soften slightly. Keep looking up, lifting the chest. Breathe out, pushing that hip forward. Okay, so now we're going to relax the left hand on the floor, and then you're going to grab the foot. Like I said before, I'd rather you stay here and really push the pelvis forwards to get that deep stretch, instead of bringing the heel down and then lifting the pelvis. So you want to push the pelvis. It's more important to have the pelvis down and to have the left hip going towards the right. So you really want to bring the hip facing that corner. Breathe out. Now if you cannot reach your foot, you can keep it on the floor and continue with the previous stretch. We're going to relax this down. Bring the legs together. So knee on top of the other. Inhale and then exhale. You're going to walk your fingers forwards, lengthening the spine. Let me do it from the side so you can see my back. And again, everyone, it's really important that we build up. If you cannot get there yet, you hold where you can and you breathe. And every day you build up into your flexibility. So lengthen the spine and then you walk forwards. You want to have a nice, straight, flat back. You don't want to go like this. So if you are not that flexible yet, you can just get the legs together, extend there, untuck the pelvis here, and just go there. And then you breathe out like you're blowing bubbles. And then you build up, you go further forwards. Keep that feet higher up and go forwards and forwards. And keep your nice straight back. Do not collapse. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And spread your fingers into the ground. And you really feel opening up and the stretch happening around there. And then coming back up. Excellent. The next stretch now, we're going to have the legs open up to the side in second position. So if you've got your yoga mat, you can find the alignment. Make sure that you've got the same distance, both sides. I usually check with my hands because if you've got any issues with alignment in your pelvis, you might end up closing one leg more than the other. So make sure you got that correct position. Okay. We're going to keep your toes up to the sky and we're going to bend the knees slightly. We're going to stretch the arms and we're going to tilt to the side. Exhale and back. Very important, you engage in your core. Tilt and back. And again, tilt. The knees are slightly bent and back and tilt and back. Well done. Now we're going to release the tension of the knees. Very, very good. And we're going to walk our hands forwards. Inhale, exhale. You're going to reach one hand further away than the other. So we're going to get a stretch on our spine as well. Exhale. And walking back. The other hand, walk forwards. Try to keep your toes up to the sky. And then back. We're going to go a little bit quicker so we get that good dynamic stretch. And then back. Untuck the pelvis. And again. Now, if you cannot do this with the knees straight, you can slightly bend. But I really want you to untuck the pelvis and lengthen the lower back. Because that's how you can become more flexible by building up with what you have right now. And then day after day, you will feel more and more flexible. You should always stretch after dance classes or any physical activity. Very good. I think now we're ready to release. So now it's not more active. We're not doing dynamic anymore. We're just going to do a static stretch. Okay, so you can just relax the legs, relax everything, but keep lengthening the spine and untucking the pelvis. So we can go all the way forwards. And remember, tummy on the floor, belly button going to the floor. Doesn't need to touch yet, but that's the idea. We don't want to go into head on the floor and curve the spine, okay? Really want to untuck and breathe. Exhale. Exhale. Always trying to release your thighs, the muscles, trying to relax them and lengthening the back, the lower back, lumbar spine, mid back and up back, relaxing. And once you feel that your abdominals are as close as possible to the floor, then you can relax your head down if you can, otherwise you stay here. And if you want to work even harder, you can point your toes all the way down and you can go. Relax your shoulders. You can open the arms as well to hold. Stay. Pull your head to the other side. And slowly you walk your hands back, breathing out, slowly coming back in. Be nice and gentle with your body. Bring the leg in. And we're going to lie on our back to just scan through the body. Relax it. Just pay attention in your muscles, how you feel. Where do you feel that it's more relaxed? Where do you feel that you got a very deep, strong feeling of the stretch? Relax your shoulders, turn your palms up, and just breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. 2 more deep breaths, relaxing and releasing the tension in your whole body. And again, in, out. You're going to wiggle your toes, slide one foot to bend the knee, slide the other. Open the arms, palms down, relax the knees to one side, look to the opposite side, breathe out. Zip up your tummy, back, bring your knees back to center, to the other side. And back to center. Relax the knees to the side, curve the body, push yourself up. Sit down, cross-legged. Lift the arms all the way up. Release, relax your hands, relax your shoulder. Turn to the side, back to center, to the other side, back to center. Release it down, roll the shoulders, and reverse. Open the arms, walk one hand towards the other, stretching your upper back, and open. And stretch, and open. And well done. Thank you very much. And I would recommend you to do this section as many times as you can, especially in the evenings after a full day of moving around and warming up the body. You will benefit from this in the evening after a hot shower or hot bath. Your muscles will release. And you will feel more calm as well and relaxed and ready to bed.